Hey guys, just stepping out for a quick lunch. I got a busy day. I don't know if I have anything scripturally to add to this. In case I do, I'll make a little space over there. Let's just kind of evaluate the idea. So if they're going to do these sacrifices in order that they can make a temple, and they're currently battling their enemies in that timepiece land, so that way they can not be pushed out by them, but stand up for what they believe is right. And they're going to do this on the Mount of Olives, right in front of that land that they want to acquire, so that they can build their house there. And this is all just going to go off without a hitch. Whether it be this weekend or next month sometime. I was trying to look into it, and I can't remember the Paravatas. You know, it had some sort of a title to doing it before the Passover, it looked like, as part of a ritualistic thing. I don't know, and I apologize. I'm not trying to go down into that and say I have that kind of information. But to think that they are currently battling that, and they're just going to sit there and look over to the Mount of Olives and see that what they are burning and what it's for, that's just going to happen, you know, regardless. Like, I can't imagine there's not going to be like protests or something to say that they do not want them to even be doing that, so that they can then cleanse the priest, the sacrificial tools, and items for the temple. Because as I saw somebody else saying, well, isn't that kind of like kicking the hornet's nest? Yeah. So unless everything that's been happening over there is part of a planned agreement, or maybe their enemy is not really so much their enemy, but look where the battle is being fought, on their side, not on the other side. So it seems that a lot of innocent victims have been caught up in the crossfire. But here again, you can deal with your enemies in such a way. People that are not so nice, or speaking out, or just you don't like them. Sorry, we're at war. Oh, we don't go after, you know, because of the nature of the enemy, we just have to shoot things here, there, and everywhere to see if we can hit them. And we're trying to use intel, but of course there's a lot of innocents getting caught up in all this as well. Sorry. If they have some sort of a giant grouping, I mean, they've been hiding these red heifers for some time, knowingly, that they don't want anybody to come and try to harm or defect any of their red heifers. But yet, when the time comes, they're going to have, what, a ceremony? They're going to have the press and leaders and all this are going to be there to watch. Maybe be safer on a Zoom call, huh? I don't want to be there, just because who knows. And at the same time, I don't know where it is, and I feel it's something that I have gone over in the past, not knowing what it was for, but that they would try to come against their enemies and fail, thinking that God is with them in this process. And yet, when they try to sit there and rise up as if, they lose. Looking at the two witnesses in Revelation, it makes me wonder in the same kind of thing. It's like they come up as if like they're going to stop them, and eventually I believe it's Apollyon somehow does something and wins over them, and they die in the streets, and the people celebrate and even seem to have give gifts to one another. And then God calls down to them and raises them up and brings them back up to heaven, or where he is. And that's when they have that earthquake. Whether that be a literal shaking of the ground, which is going to not topple a tenth of the city, I believe, or if it's something else that is like the quaking of the earth, or the ground shaking from fear, or the footsteps of their enemy. I don't know. I've always kind of speculated about what earthquakes could possibly mean in Scripture. We see situations that kind of fall underneath that, and I'm not saying it's just an idea. Like I said, I don't have something to back that up, but it just always pondered in my mind, like, I wonder if when it speaks of earthquakes in various places, if it's speaking of the shaking of the people in the land, like an earthquake, they are shaking in fear. Which would be kind of my idea, and the definition would be, is it fear? So I'm going to have my lunch. I'm busy. I'm very over the top busy. So I just had to bounce this out. Think about this. Like, share, subscribe, that kind of thing. I think this idea is something that everybody has to think about, because if they're just going to do it willingly right in front of the land that they want to retake, the real estate, so they can put their temple there, what happens if there's a skirmish and that spills into the holy city? And then all of a sudden, when things are getting lobbed around and destroyed, something just happens to land on top of that mount and clear the way for them then to retake and put their stuff there. What happens when that happens and you try to push forward with this idea? We'll see. Just a word to the wise.